Thunder Grunt.
Actually, one thing that I finally got my editor to do is start, like with this new short film that we're editing right now, is to keep in some of the flubs. Like if an actor like just screws up a line, just fucking keep it in.
Keep it in.
I love it.
Do you keep it in and then roll the good one after it, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice. That's kind of or is reminiscent of a Tim and Eric technique almost. Like just take it, take it again. Okay.
Right. Yeah. What I try to do though is like it's hard for people to do Tim and Eric that well because they do it so well that like half the time you're like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Or not, you know. So you just end up having to take the outtakes because they're real, you know.
Yeah, because it's authentic. They kind of they know how to manufacture it well.
They do. It's crazy. I don't know how they can do that shit. But.
Not that this. I don't want this to be about me, but the stuff that I make, people always tell me like it's Tim and Eric-esque.
Yeah,
and I don't view it like that. I think it's just like people view green screen as Tim and Eric, and but I don't view the humor. I view the humor more as like my own humor, more as Kids in the Hall. But everyone else sees Tim and Eric, and I'm like, okay,
it's because nobody watches Kids in the Hall, like you know, like
I do.
Right,
yeah.
Of course. Yeah. But one of my favorite directors directed a bunch of sketches from Kids in the Hall.
Really? Who was that?
This guy John Paez.
Okay, yeah.
Canadian director. One of my favorite sketches, Kids in the Hall, where this guy's like doing this hairpiece sketch where the guy's like I don't remember what it is. It's like a dead squirrel and becomes a hairpiece or something.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the director. It's great stuff. It's so surrealist comedy. I love that shit.
Yeah, like honestly, I usually credit. I don't know if you remember this, but Bruce McCulloch did basically a short film on Kids in the Hall called Love and Sausages. And that's kind of where I credit most of my inspiration for my own short films and stuff. Like it's from that sketch alone, because I remember seeing it when I was a kid and I was like, oh my god, films can be this. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, it's like people aren't watching those old things anymore. So like, for instance, I love David Lynch, but you know, like that's not my only influence, but people will definitely go with that first because he's in the most public eye, you know, now at least. But yeah, it's like if you're going to be weird, it's going to be Adult Swim. It's going to be Tim and Eric. So oh yeah, Tim and Eric, of course, you know.
I think how can I say this without sounding like snobby, but when people watch a weird movie, like, okay, God Inside My Ear, which is, I've already been honest, it's the only movie of yours I've seen.
Oh, it's fine.
I love it. I do.
I was going to send you a private link to watch Sister Tempest. I'll do it after.
We probably should have done it before, but that's okay.
I know.
Yeah, it's fine. I forgot too. I should have asked you.
Totally fine.
I was going to say, like, when people watch a weird movie, they usually reference, like, it's very David Lynch plus this, or David Lynch meets this. He's kind of the go-to for non-narrative, doesn't make sense stuff. And I don't always agree with it. You know, I love David Lynch too, but there's more than him.
Yeah. I know.
He's not the only bastion of odd, you know?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, you obviously don't mind it when people compare, though, right?
Oh no, it's flattering.
It's an honor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
That's like what I said. I don't mind being compared to Tim and Eric because they're kind of my heroes too. So like it's fine. I was going to say, so we're recording. This is the show. I don't do an intro. I just start talking because all the info's on the description and everything. Yeah. But I was going to say, let's do, the reason this is happening is you originally wanted to plug something. And I said, let's do plugs at the front and the back. So, what are you trying to get, point people towards before we get to talking?
Right now, I'm launching a Kickstarter on June 22nd. So Tuesday, June 22nd, just a few days from now, for my new short film, The Wheel of Heaven. And it's a surrealist sci-fi dark comedy that has a
very
lot
Lynchian.
Very Lynchian, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Has a lot. It's wrapped around inside of a choose your own adventure kind of story, but it's not necessarily a choose your own adventure. Like you're not playing the movie like a game or anything.
Yeah,
it just has choose your own adventure like decisions that the character has to make. So that's basically the summation of it. It's kind of like, in my Kickstarter, I say it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show meets Hour of the Wolf. So it's kind of those two movies stuck together, but it's way more than that. That's just a shorthand for that. But and if you haven't seen Hour of the Wolf, then fuck yourself. That's it. I say in my video.
I was going to say it's pretty clearly how you feel about that in the video. Which I got to say, too, is I hope anyone watching this will go watch the Kickstarter video, but I'm not saying this because I'm interviewing you. I promise you.
Sure.
Easily one of, if not the best Kickstarter videos I've ever seen. Like, easily. It was completely unexpected. And you know what? It's just, how do I say this? It's not overproduced where I'm like, this guy has so much money. Why am I giving him anything?
Right.
Yeah, it's like well done, but simple enough where I'm like, okay, I see the talent's there, but they don't have any money. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make a video that people would want to share because I was putting together the Kickstarter for this one, and so I looked at the Kickstarter for Sister Tempest as like a template. Okay, I'll kind of use the same things, and so I was watching the video, and I was so like embarrassed by that video for Sister Tempest.
I haven't seen it, so I won't watch it. I promise.
Me and the editor sitting there going, and I love my editor, but we're just sitting there going, well, this is the movie that we're going to make, and it's a kooky movie, and like, I hope you guys like it. And it's like, it's so cringy. And
well, that's not terrible. Don't beat yourself up. That's what people do, though, you know.
Absolutely. But I watched it going like, I wouldn't want to get to this.
Yeah, right.
Like, so I thought, well, what would I want to do that would like be the anti-Kickstarter video? So that's what I did.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's just like that's definitely one of the best I've ever seen. So good job. Thank you. Like at no point was at first I was like, is this something that's actually part of the movie? I like didn't know. It's great. Amazing. It's really great. Yeah. Okay. So there's that, and you've got upcoming another short, right?
Yes. So I made another short film we already shot and we're almost done editing called The Blood of the Dinosaurs, a prologue to The Wheel of Heaven. Mm-hmm. So these two movies, Blood of the Dinosaurs and Wheel of Heaven, are basically like part one and part two kind of a deal. So although you can watch them both independently and they both make sense completely, but if you watch them together, then it's a little package deal. It's kind of like the original Twin Peaks and the new Twin Peaks. That new Twin Peaks don't make a fucking sense, but it's still fun to watch, even if you didn't watch the original. It's still like, well, this is fucking crazy. And so it's kind of the same sort of deal. They stand on their own, but if you put them together, it's a nice little package. So that's
awesome.
Yeah, and so with this Kickstarter for The Wheel of Heaven, if you give to it, I think at $20 or more, you get both films.
Nice.
So you get 2 films for the price of 2 films, actually.
2 films for the price of 2 films.
That's right.
Yeah. So. Well, and also, I just want to say, too, I love the posters for both films. They're just amazing. I don't know if you're doing that or you have a graphic designer, but they're like perfect representation.
Thank you. Well, so for Blood of the Dinosaurs, there is a wealth of public domain dinosaur illustrations that were made in the early 20th century, like back in like 1919.
Okay.
So, and like
that's great.
Most of those old children's books that you read that were dinosaur illustrations, they were all illustrated back in like the early 1900s, and they're all public domain, or like 90% of them. So I just found one that was fucking awesome looking, and then I added all the lettering and all that sort of shit. And then
that's great. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to make
authentic
it look like,
too. Yeah.
So I think with after we did Sister Tempest and we made the poster for Sister Tempest look like an old like young adult book cover, I was like, I like this idea of keeping the theme where all my movies will have like book cover looks.
Yeah.
So that's why I made that look like a children's book, and then the poster for Wheel of Heaven looks like a choose your own adventure novel. Yeah. And that was my friend Spencer Epps, who's a graphic designer. And he just fucking knocked that out of the park. It looks great.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one thing that I really wanted to ask you first. And that is, you've made 2 feature films.
Right.
And I find it interesting, as somebody who's only ever made short films, and I kind of swim in those waters, that you're going back to short films again. Because I respect short films. I view them as real movies and all that stuff.
Sure.
I don't want to get into that philosophy, but a lot of people have pretty sharp opinions on like where the pecking order lies.
Right.
So I'm very excited to see your short films as someone who's already, you kind of jumped in the water with features. So now you're going back to short films. I guess I just want to ask why. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I really want feature films are really my heart. That's what I want to do. I want to do more long form feature films and even like TV shows and things like that. Because it's hard for me to write in smaller bites.
Yeah.
Like, I just keep adding and make it like kind of out of control.
Like, okay, it's 20 minutes. Okay, 40 minutes. Okay, fine. Yeah, right.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And so a couple of my manager and like my DP and a couple of people were like, look, we've done 2 features, and I thought making a feature would kind of show more like, hey, look, we made a fucking feature. This is like, we've got something, we can do this. And it's really hard to get into like Cannes and Sundance and shit with a feature, but it's a lot easier with a short film. And so we've done two features, and getting into that higher echelon of features of film festivals, it's impossible if you're not sleeping with somebody, or you don't have a giant celebrity.
Right.
But to get into those higher film festivals with short films are way easier. So we're like, okay, we got to back up, do some short films. That way we can launch those into the film festivals. So we're doing these 2, like we could take these 2 short films, put them together, add a bunch more stuff, and really kind of create another feature if we wanted to. But instead, we're making 2 smaller films that we have two chances to kind of get into those bigger festivals. They're launched as 2 separate films, although you can put them together and make a longer story.
Right.
So once you watch them, it'll make a little more sense.
I mean, I could kind of see some sort of semblance there from reading the Kickstarter and that, but I think I'd have to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So I actually didn't know it's easier to get short films in the bigger festivals. So
yes,
I didn't know that was an actual thing. So it's not just a story decision. It's like
it's a
career decision. Okay. Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like when I made God Tamir, I was not thinking about career at all. I was thinking I want to make a film before I die.
Right. Right.
If I just get one chance, I want to make a feature, because that's what I'd like to do. And then Sister Tempest was like, okay, I want to make another feature, because I could do this. I knew how to do this. And now I'm realizing it's just so hard to get into those bigger festivals. So yeah. And I'm seeing other people like get into these bigger festivals with just short films that it's just way easier. You don't need to know as many people, and you get into those bigger festivals with the short films.
Yeah.
They know you. And then when you submit the features, they're more apt to let you in. So it's all politics.
Oh yeah.
It's all bullshit. I hate it. So
same.
Yeah.
I've submitted to some bigger stuff, and I don't know why. I think I just like the idea. I always know I'm going to get rejected.
Yeah.
Because I just like the idea of somebody from a prestigious film festival having to watch it and just getting mad or something. Like, I always
absolutely.
I kind of like trolling them for money. I don't know why.
I really eventually want to make like some like 10 or 15 minute long short film with just like a dude laying on the ground like the entire time, and just say, fuck you, Cans, you got to watch this shit. Yeah. Or just a feature would be even amazing, because
they have to watch the whole thing.
whole fucking thing. Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Andy Warhol. Is it Andy Warhol? Yeah.
Yeah.
Warhol. Yeah.
With,
so he
Empire and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I have a friend who actually watched all of Empire.
It's like 18 hours or something.
I think it's 8. I think it's 8. 18.
Hours, yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, he watched all 8 hours, and it's like, he said that it was just like at one point he just fixes the camera, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And that I learned that about that like 15 years ago, and I was like, oh, well, that's a movie.
Yeah.
And I can make a movie. I just have to film myself sleeping for 8 hours, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But
that's what I think the genius of Warhol is. Not because he's really good at what he does, but because he really is like a troll to rich people. And that's what I love about him.
Yeah.
You know, I love that.
To some degree, there's a pleasure in making films that are making fun of film. And
totally.
then you can actually push them towards the actual, like, you know, institutions. And
yes,
my dream is always to make something that's kind of making fun of them, and then they accept it as their own.
Of course. That's what, like, John Waters has got to be laughing to himself all the time because he hates these people, you know. But then you become these people. It's like the George Lucas effect.
Right. Well, I'm from Baltimore. Maybe I got that John Waters thing.
Yeah.
My brain. Yeah. But I was gonna also ask. This is a really specific question.
Oh, real quick. I think Don Dohler, one of my favorite directors, is from Baltimore. Have you ever watched Don Dohler? I love his.
Yeah. I've never like met him, but I've met John Waters a few times.
Nice.
I actually shot John Waters, not with a gun, with a camera.
Right. Good.
And I've seen a few movies sitting next to him.
Oh, that's super cool.
I stopped my friend from puking on him during Jackass 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very odd story. Now, what was I going to say?
I'm sorry. You had a question.
I had a question. I think anyone who's watched your movies, I specifically, for me, got inside my ear. Yeah. The first thing I want to ask when I watch a movie like that to the creator is, I want to ask, what are some big budget Hollywood movies that you actually like? What are I think it's obvious to ask your influences. I want to know about stuff like 4-quadrant movies you actually enjoy.
I really like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm kind of anti-superhero movies at this point.
Right.
But yeah, that was a very enjoyable time. It was just stupid shit. But James Gunn can put together some funny shit.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like the guy at the same time. But
right.
What else? Some big budget ones. I mean, you know,
or just movies that are popular, like, you know, like, because I'm assuming they're not your influences, so I'm just curious what you like.
I mean, it's funny because some of it is like, you know, there's no way I'm gonna ever not have Star Wars in my heart.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, you know, grew up with that shit.
Right.
Even though I hate most of the output that comes out now, but Mandalorian was great. I mean, I finally sat down and watched it. And I was like, damn. It's not bad. Like,
I was gonna say, is it not bad or is it great? Which one of the two?
It's between the two.
It's between somewhere in between.
For a big budget TV show about Star Wars, it's great.
Yeah, I agree.
For like cinema, it's decent. It's whatever. It's cool. I could watch it and be entertained. You know,
it's a throwback to old TV almost a little bit too.
Yes, I will say, like, there were so many episodes that was literally the same plot, like this over and over. Like, hey, we need to do this. Well, if you do this for me, then I'll give you this. Okay, well, I'll do this for you, and then you do that, and it's like...
It's something, a MacGuffin on the ship is broken. How do we get it? Well, they have one, but they need this help with this thing.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's not like I was playing a D&D adventure. It was like, okay, now I got to do this.
It brought a little bit of charm back to it, but...
Yes.
Okay, I'll say something on this episode that might be a little bit unpopular, which I'm interested to hear your opinion on. If you're a Star Wars fan, I don't know if I really like the ending. I don't know if I like the Luke thing.
Well, Luke looked like shit. That's the problem.
Well, outside of the actual effects, like
that was my only problem with it. It just looked like shit.
I don't know. For some reason, it felt like giving me exactly what I wanted. Sometimes
It was total fan service.
Yeah. Like this is so obviously what we wanted, and it.
Yes,
I felt wrong.
That's all this shit is now.
Yeah,
all of these movies. That's why I don't even want to watch new movies anymore, because everything is so boiled down to statistics.
Right.
Like every Netflix original, they have like decades of information that they like gather together. Like, we're going to spit out a perfect show for these people and spit out a perfect show for these people. So I just feel like I'm being manipulated. Even if I like the show, I feel like you've manipulated me. Like like they're listening to all my conversations.
Well, they are. And
then they're giving me ads that I want to click on.
Right.
And it's the same with television. And so it doesn't feel like there's an auteur behind it. Creating something just for themselves, and then you're able to watch it. So I'd much rather watch something that I don't like, that I know it's exactly from the director's heart, than something I do like that I know was like manufactured just for me.
Right. So what are you actually like watching in your free time, if you have any anymore?
Oh yeah, I'm watching, and then it's shit that's popular too. I'm watching like Bored to Death. I'm rewatching that.
Oh, that's
show.
A great show. Love it.
Great show. Yes.
Zach is one of my heroes.
Yeah, he's so funny in that show. He acts like a 12-year-old, and it's like you can feel it. He's just perfect. He acts like a child, and he's perfect.
Have you ever seen Baskets? Did you ever watch?
Yeah. I tried to like it. It's
okay.
So dry.
Yeah,
it was so dry that it was hard for me to like keep going.
Yeah,
but I like him.
Right. Right.
God, what else am I watching?
I mean, I'm just interested to know, because God Inside My Ear is such a like punch in the face.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm saying that in the best way. I revisited about half of it today.
Yeah,
just because time got away from me. But like I said, it's always interesting to me where somebody's like inspiration comes from, and I believe inspiration isn't just your direct influence; it's what you're chilling out to.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Like some of my favorite shows recently have been like a lot of. There's quite a few Adult Swim shows.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like Joe Pera Talks with You.
Oh my God. I watch that, and I'm like mad at myself for not doing it.
Yes,
that's the biggest compliment I could give.
Effortlessly beautiful.
Yeah,
it's just one of the best shows I've ever seen. It like, if you're depressed, just watch that show. It'll just lift you out.
So good.
Like Mr. Rogers for adults.
Yeah, and it's hilarious too. It's really funny.
Yes, it's very sarcastic to itself, but it still has such a sweet heart. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Also, Off the Air is one of my favorite shows.
Off the air. My dream was getting off the air for a long time, and I came so close, and I missed it. I missed it just by like somebody left their job there that I knew.
No.
Like it was like a month. I would have had it, and they were interested in a segment from one of my shorts, but I totally agree with you. It's just Off the Air is amazing. I fall asleep to Off the Air a lot of nights.
Oh, it's such a great to have on in the background. It's so meditative in its own way, but so psychedelic. Whenever you finally watch Sister Tempest, you'll be like, oh shit, he's watching a lot of Off the Air while he made this movie.
Off the Air, the movie, right?
Yeah, there's because what I love about Off the Air is that it's just an anthology. And then inside, like to bridge each story, there's all this weird psychedelic shit or data mashing or all sorts of strange things to get to the next story. And so with Sister Tempest, it was the same sort of idea where I've got all these weird fragments of stories that all culminate into one narrative, but going from one scene to another scene, I was very inspired by Off the Air doing like data mashing and doing weird like old public domain clips and stuff like that, old cartoons and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Off the Air is amazing.
You can definitely see the influence. Well, at least I can even see that influence in God. In God.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, yeah. When I was not to, I keep talking about God, but it's the only one I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
I got the influence from God. What I would say, instead of saying David Lynch,
yeah,
two things brought to my mind: Adult Swim, obviously, Off the Air more so than like Tim and Eric. I'm pushing towards Off the Air, but also I don't know if this is a weird one. Altered States.
Oh my God. Yeah.
A lot of the imagery reminds me of Altered States.
Ken Russell.
I hope you take that as a compliment because I love Altered States. So,
well, I've watched that. I watched that movie over and over, like in high school, and, like early college times, and then I hadn't watched it for decades. And then I rewatched it a couple years ago, even like a year ago. Rewatched it like a year ago, and I just sobbed my eyes out. And I was like, this movie is like, I connect with this movie on every level.
Right.
And I was like, well, I see where a lot of influences come from. Ken Russell, though, like Lair of the White Worm and The Devils and God, so many of his films that I just love. Like, I connect with that director more than maybe any other director because
I'm glad I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all this Catholic background. And he wrestles with his ideas of who God is, and all like sexuality and all sorts of things, and I connect with him like completely. So
now also, it's just like specifically Altered States too. Like, it's insane that movie was made and released. You know what I mean? Like yes. I've seen it. I don't know probably about 10 to 15 times in my life, but every time I'm like, the beginning is so meditative, and then it turns into him turning into a caveman, attacking people in the street.
And it's hilarious as fuck.
It's so funny. And it's just, so you funny. Can't, because, the movie has like almost a prestigious feel to it. It's like really exploring it. And then it gets like a guy almost throwing poo at people.
Ken Russell is that way, man.
It's so good.
It's perfect mixture of highbrow and lowbrow.
Yes. I love it.
I love. Yeah. Yes. Well, and that ending just rips my heart out.
Right.
There's this ending of him trying to figure out the meaning of life and who God is, and then realizing that everything is meaningless. And then his wife kind of like saving him from like the eternal abyss is fucking beautiful, man. I mean, like fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And that movie actually kind of ruined Ken Russell's career from what I've heard. In other words,
behind the scenes, right? Like there was a lot of fighting about with the author or something.
Yes,
right?
Yes. And then also he spent a shitload of money on that film, and I don't think it made its money back. And so it was kind of like a boner killer for Hollywood but like that ending scene with the vortex that she has to go into.
Yeah. That
scene was like one of the most expensive scenes ever made at the time, like in all time, because that effect was like it was all physical, like in the camera.
Right.
And so it's crazy to watch because it's a beautiful effect.
It is. But, I think everything in that movie is beautiful, kind of. Even the stuff where I can tell it's an effect, I'm still like, it's
I love it. Yeah.
I used to that used to be a movie that would be an angry return at the video store I used to manage. like people, I would recommend it to people looking for something.
And they'd be so pissed at you.
They would say to me, "Can you show me something different?" Or you have a recommendation for something. This is where I would recommend like God Inside My Ear or something.
Right.
And I would say like Altered States, and then they would come back and literally like ask for a refund. like 2 hours later, like they got halfway through, turned it off, and drove back.
But people don't want something different, man. They want like fucking Mannequin 2 or some shit. Yeah.
Jeez,
like,
two.
Yeah.
Two.
Something like Weekend at Bernie's meets Revenge of the Nerds. That's what I wanted, man.
Yeah. Well, working at a video store, I misconstrued like I don't know, like what I wanted versus what the customer wanted. And honestly, you got to look at it like a bar. People are there most of the time to forget their problems.
Yeah.
and I needed to understand that as a younger man. I'd be like now I would be like, no, you should go rent Fast and the Furious 7 or something. Of course. Like you worked 14 hours. You don't want to be challenged. I understand that.
Right. But when you're 19 years old, you're like, dude, watch this, smoke a bowl, watch this, it's gonna be amazing.
It'll open your mind up, man. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing that, and people were like just coming home from their factory job and like, what are you doing to me?
Right.
Like when they said different, they meant like Pulp Fiction different.
Right.
Like enough where it's not alienating. You know what I mean? Totally. Yeah, I wasn't, or they don't want Blue Velvet or
Right.
Yeah, they don't want any of that. Yeah. Well, okay. Ken Russell. I'm glad I brought that up. Okay. Yeah. I was worried for a second. I was actually like, if I bring up Altered States, is he going to be insulted?
Oh, no. Not at all.
Because I guess...
I wouldn't be insulted no matter what you bring up. I wouldn't be insulted. But yeah, Ken Russell, fucking choice.
I think maybe the video store made me, in my brain, think people don't like Altered States. I don't know why. Yeah.
It makes people mad, man. I understand.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let me ask the inverse question. Who are your direct influences outside of Ken Russell?
Well,
and David Lynch. David Lynch. Yeah.
Ken Russell. Mickey Reese has been a big influence lately. He's a very new independent director. Well, I say he's new. He's been making films for 14 years. Most of the movies he never has shown to the wider public. Mm-hmm. But he's been making 2 movies a year for the last 14 years.
2 full-length movies?
Most of them are full-length.
Okay.
I think 25 out of the 28 or something like that.
Okay.
You can watch quite a few of his movies on Alamo Drafthouse's website, like their streaming service. Okay. But dude, unbelievable. The guy.
How do you spell his last name?
Reece.
Okay.
Yeah, big influence. Quentin Dubois.
Oh, big! I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, so good, man.
Yeah,
Rubber's amazing, but not just Rubber. Like most of his films.
I'm a big fan of Wrong Cops.
Yeah, I still haven't watched Wrong Cops.
Okay,
I watched Wrong.
Wrong's good. Yeah.
Reality. His film Reality was a big influence for me for Sister Tempest. Also, the movie The Monkey's Head.
I haven't seen that one.
Monkeys. Yeah, it's a Monkeys rock movie. That movie is a huge influence for me. It's very much just like changing channels the entire time, and I like that idea.
Right.
But
it's almost a sketch comedy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. But I think overall the biggest influence for me is a composer by the name of John Zoran, and he's most famous for his band Naked City. And one thing about his band was they would like genre hop, and like one of their more famous songs, they're not famous, but in like jazz, in the jazz world they are, but one of the most famous songs is a song called Speed Freaks. And it's like within 1 minute, they change genres 30 times. And so like every 2 seconds, it's a new little piece. And it'll be like country to jazz to death metal to hip hop to just like everything, to noise, to anything you can think of. And I like that idea of genre hopping. And so we did that a lot with Sister Tempest. And now we're exploring that even further with Wheel of Heaven. Because with Wheel of Heaven, there's like 4 or 5 different stories, and each story is kind of based around a different genre, and a different, not just a different genre, but different style within the genre. Like one storyline is like Twilight Zone, and it's all filmed in black and white. And it's all very much Twilight Zone, the music, the whole deal. And one of the storylines is very Star Trek, very original, old 70s, 60s, 70s Star Trek.
The best Star Trek.
Right, exactly. In all that kind of time period of 60s and 70s sci-fi. Mm-hmm. And so, so like people will be like, it's a romantic comedy with zombies, and they're just mishmashing genres. But I want to like mishmash styles and even musical styles, acting styles, like every kind of like the cinematography styles, editing styles. So we're just constantly hopping around like all the time. And
right.
So it's exhausting, but that's kind of my heart, like, is to kind of exhaust the audience, wear them down in a way.
Yeah, no, I dig a kitchen sink movie.
Yeah, which is
it's literally everything. Yeah, right. It's literally everything. You know,
yes,
romance, horror, sci-fi. Yeah. It's just like literally name it all. Like it's everything in one. Yeah, I would say your stuff qualifies there. It's very apparent. Yeah. I have one very specific question I want to ask you, and if you don't want to answer this, fine. I don't even know if I should ask it, but
no, please.
It's such a specific question. In God Inside My Ear, you used music from one of I don't even know if he's well known, but you used music from Ray Lynch.
Yes.
I have been a fan of his albums since like the early 90s when I was barely a kid, because I would listen to him because my father had a tape.
Nice.
First thing I want to ask is, Did you get the rights to that? Or
yes, absolutely.
You really got the rights to Ray Lynch. That's amazing.
So we put that in as like a placeholder music for the scene. And we loved it. It was just like so perfect.
It's such good music.
So that I never had really listened to him before, but then I saw the movie Gentlemen Broncos. It's
right, and it's in the soundtrack.
And it's in the soundtrack, and I loved that song so much. I was like, let's try it for this scene. Worked perfectly, and so my editor Joseph was like, hey, why don't we just write the dude? So I wrote him, and his wife like manages everything and answered back and was like, sure. And so we negotiated to a deal that we could afford, and they went with it.
That's amazing. I mean, I wasn't trying to assume that you just used it, because I know some people, I've seen indies where people do that, and I'm like,
for sure.
I'm like, they didn't get the rights to that song.
No,
yeah.
Totally.
I just find it amazing that you know who Ray Lynch is and used his music in your film.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was till I saw Gentlemen Broncos. So that's such great electronic music. I love it.
Yeah, it's I think the album is Deep Breakfast or something like that, or Celestial Soda Pop or something.
It's Deep Breakfast is right.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest name I've ever heard for anything. I love it. It is so like fucking like you are playing like Spelljammer or something. It's so just like fucking 80s sci-fi, like Dungeons and Dragons shit. I love it.
Yeah, it's got that, like, when I listen to it, I see like 80s CGI shapes floating by, in my mind. Totally. I don't know if is that a weird thing to say? Like,
no, totally.
Yeah, like not the Dire Straits video, but like that kind of animation.
It's also very Tron-ish.
Tron, like,
Tron and stuff. Yeah,
Tron-ish stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was like, I was watching it today, and I was like, that's right. He has the Ray Lynch. This is like the second movie in my life that I've ever seen someone even talk about Ray Lynch. Yeah. And you can't. That's hard to find. I think it's like maybe YouTube has that.
They had it. Yeah. That's actually a platinum selling album for the time. It like
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either until I looked it up. I was really surprised they even really cared to like answer me back. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, okay. Any other influences you had, or that was pretty much?
I could keep going like for the rest of my life.
I'm interested because I mean, I don't. If I can gush for a second, like I've only seen one of your movies, but I considered God kind of an inspiration.
Oh,
like nothing I make is remotely like it, so I'm not saying that. But like, I remember first seeing it. I forget where I saw it, but
it could be like it, and it'd be totally fine. I would love that.
If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have commented on your status.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have done that. But I consider it like that type of
that's awesome.
Bravado in storytelling, doing whatever you feel is right.
Yeah,
I really admire that, and I try to follow that. So I'm always interested to know what makes you tick. Like,
well, I can't wait for you to see Sister Tempest.
Yeah, no, I should have.
If you think that movie like got inside your head, any bravado, Sister Tempest is way. I can't believe that anybody agreed to film that thing with me because it is. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I assume you have like kind of you surrounded yourself with people that understand what they like, trust your vision here, because
they trust me.
Like they at the moment they might not know what you're filming.
Always understand. No.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think a fault of a lot of filmmakers, at least like filmmakers on our level that no one knows about.
Well, I'm like 3 levels below, but yeah.
We're on the same level. Believe me, bro. We're on the same level.
I mean, I haven't had Netflix copy one of my movies yet, so
I still don't know. That could have just not been anything. No comment.
No comment. All right. I'm sorry I brought it up. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. But one thing that I think filmmakers want to do is try to surround themselves with people that like are on the same page, right?
Yeah.
But as you probably know, it's hard to find people on the same page as you. It's when you're doing things that are weird.
Yeah.
No
matter what type of weird, even. It just in general.
And then if you do find people that like the same things, doesn't mean they have talent.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like dealing with people that can't shoot a camera, can't hold a freaking boom mic. They're like their technical abilities suck.
Yeah.
And technical ability is like super important for people to at least want to watch your movie. You know,
you have to have good sound. You just have to.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and if you can find somebody that can make your stupid shit look pretty,
that'd be nice. Yeah.
Then find somebody. Like, yeah, I will watch stuff that looks bad and sounds bad because I'm watching the stuff for the creative processing,
right,
and style. But most people aren't. They're like, if it looks bad or sounds bad or both, they just turn it off. They're not going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the majority of the people I surround with have not watched the same movies I've watched or care about the same things I care about. They're usually actually went to school for film and they know how to do those things. I don't have any technical ability. I cannot even take a picture with my cell phone. It'll look like garbage.
That's surprising because you have graphic design ability and
I can do that. Yeah. I can draw storyboards and I can so I do all of those things. I can do concept art. I got the ideas in my head and I know how to translate them visually for everybody to kind of follow along.
Sure.
But I can't operate the equipment.
Yeah.
I just feel like an old dog that cannot learn these new tricks. Well,
so I mean, look, your Kickstarter video, I mean your movies in general, but your Kickstarter video, it looks incredible. Like like even when the first frame, I was like, man, this is really well lit. I was like, like exceptionally well lit.
To my DP, Daniel Waghorn. The guy is just a fucking machine.
Yeah, it looks great.
I was lucky enough to find somebody who would be like, yeah, I'll shoot this dumb shit for you. And actually can make it look good. I can't believe that he agrees to that. Guy is amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks clean. And
if I would have shot it, it would have been dumb. It would have been.
It's just you in front of a white wall with a giant shadow going.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean even the production design, the actual details in the room is all great. So.
Oh, thank you. That's just my living room. That's my wife.
Oh.
That's her decorations.
Okay, well, looks good.
I depend on my wife to help, with wardrobe and set design, and she's got an eye for it that I don't, and so we make a great team with all that, And so I just find a team that, can do what you want them to do. They don't necessarily have to agree with you,
Oh yeah, they need to trust you, I don't know, if I'm sure you've been shooting stuff like me, where if it's somebody even if it's a friend, and they're like, you're shooting something extremely odd, and they're like, what the hell are you doing to me?
Yeah.
And then, but they're still there. They're still letting you do it because they know in the end it'll make some sort of sense or have some sort of voice, and they're like, okay, fine. They just go with it. But yeah, I've been told that myself. I don't know. I just accept that all these pieces are going to mean something.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have, do they following you film to film, or are you
Yes, definitely. I think that's important too, is to get a band together that you can, all collaborate with. Yeah. That eventually knows your style so well. My editor knows my style so well that with the first two films, I've sat with them the entire time,
mm-hmm.
and either through Zoom meetings or actually sitting with them, and so I'll be just throwing out ideas. But towards the second half of Sister Tempest, before I would say something, he would do it, and at this point,
sympathetic,
I will think something, and he will think it the second before I do. So it's totally in sync. I don't want to break that. I have to figure something else out with another editor? No. I'm going to get a team that we can flow together, Yeah.
So was Blood of the Dinosaurs was made entirely during the pandemic?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And we shot it about 3 months ago. So it was towards
the tail end. Well, not that it's over, but yeah,
Right. Everybody's getting shots and everything's going.
It's looking good.
Normal,
yeah. So how was that? How was that?
Well, if you watch it, most of the shots are only one or two people.
Gotcha.
So we tried to keep everything as, I wrote that with very few people in mind. So there wouldn't be a lot of interaction,
Right. I feel in the next year or two at festivals, we're just going to see a lot of movies
Oh, we already had.
Yeah, I've already started seeing them, but people, which just like very sparse casts. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's interesting because it's also like nobody wants to talk about it in the story itself, but it's apparent that it's there. You know, like I've watched a few indie festivals where I'm like, it's obvious that this was shot during this, and you would have obviously had more people there.
Yes, some of these like new talk shows that I'm seeing, just like the normal ass talk shows, and like you can tell the guest is like on the other side of the room. You're just like, okay, that's how we're gonna shoot it. Cool.
Yeah, like I don't know if you saw this, but I don't know why you would have, but I saw like a making of the Drew Barrymore show, and the only reason I watched it is because they made it so they could shoot two people on green screen with no latency in different places. And then edit them together in the shot as though they were sitting in front of the same bookshelf.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what the hell what are you doing? It could just be a Zoom meeting. If I cared about what they were talking about, I'd still watch that.
Yes. But they just keep them like enough apart. It's fine.
Yeah, but instead they spent all this time and money to give us the illusion that they're in the same room.
So funny.
Very odd. Yeah. And and when I was watching, I was like, this is good enough to use in a film. Like, it looks good. It's not like it's not bad, but it's for a talk show.
So funny, man.
It's so ridiculous. Odd. Yeah. And I can't say anything. I made Zoom stuff. I made Zoom stuff during the pandemic, so I can't talk. I'm not trying to bash anyone making anything.
Yeah. It is weird. It was weird because we all wanted to still be creative. But it was like trying to figure out how to make that happen.
Well, it's nothing worse than shooting yourself.
Yeah.
Like how do you make that work? It's being number one by yourself, and then you're the point of focus.
I actually shot an entire short film with me and my daughter and her boyfriend because we were all locked up together.
Right.
The pandemic. No one will ever see it because it was like shot by me, and it looks like trash.
I bet it looks fine.
No. And so like it was just a good creative exercise, basically. So
no one will. There's no like you won't like put it on YouTube or anything.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Was God the first thing you ever actually filmed?
Yeah.
Because I know your IMDb starts there. So.
I filmed like literally just like handheld video camera shit in high school that I don't know where that ever is. It's disappeared,
Yeah.
But that was nothing, Besides that, I did a lot of storyboards for movies and commercials and shit, and art and some like animation work for other movies. So I kind of was, just a little bit of stuff. The storyboards, working like sitting down with directors and DPs, that really was like eye opening as to how to tell the story.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where all my experience comes from. That's where I lean into. I'm not going to like pick up a camera or anything, but I'm going to do all the storyboards, all the pre-production. I'm going to write the story, work with the actors and let my DP and sound guys do that stuff.
Right. I'm guilty of doing everything myself sometimes. So I understand that you're making the smart decision. That's why your stuff looks really good. I mean, God looks really good. Sister Tempest, the trailer, which I've seen, looks incredible. And I actually really like the aesthetic of Blood of the Dinosaurs. That to me, that's sort of more what I consider like my style. So I would like really, I can't wait to see it.
Leaning into the Adult Swim thing a lot, with that.
I think you posted a still that like Jim McDonough had done or something. I was like, I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
It was somebody like meditating in space. And I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big psychedelic like space tunnels sequence, and Jim, I just asked him like, would you like be willing to like do a little bit? And he was just knocked that out in like a day, and it was like so funny. Him like meditating in space with a third eye. It's like asteroids all around him. I love it.
So good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It looks exactly like right up my alley. Like it looks like something that people like, Bob, you have to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine you get that too. Like, do people like say, Joe, this movie that I just saw is so 100% something you'd like, and then you watch it and you're like, I don't know why they would say.
There's every once in a while, it's like half and half. I feel like there's definitely like half where I'm like, damn, and there's every once in a while it's like, wow, that movie is exactly what I would like.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh God, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's clowns in it, and there's, baby dolls. Yeah, of course, yeah, I'm gonna like that now. It's crazy.
Right.
But it's still, it's cool that people are thinking of me. Like, they're actually like in their head going like, oh, Joe would like this. That's fucking amazing. That's like, what a compliment,
Now it speaks to like, the auteur and the voice. Sure. They know your voice and everything. They can seek it. It's just like sometimes I'm like, it can be an insult in a weird way. You're like, right. Why would you think I like this?
Like, I totally understand.
Like, it's just because it's weird. I don't like everything that's off the beaten path. Like, some stuff isn't for me, And
yes.
and what the average person, I say that like does that sound arrogant? What the average person might consider weird.
It's okay. I understand. I'm totally right there with you.
Like I'm above everyone else. I'm
right.
Not.
Exactly. No, you are. It's okay.
No, I'm not. Yeah. I like all that. I like a lot of. I like.
I'm just playing.
You like Star Wars. I like a lot of stuff that's. I'm that guy. So I can't say that. I mean, I'm sitting in front of movie posters here. You can say yeah. So I'm that guy.
I definitely like to tell people I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Yeah, right. I really don't. I really have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just doing it just because I want to do it.
That's why it's like hard to take your eyes off of it. Yeah. The first time I watched God, I kind of was like, I couldn't believe. How would I say this? Somebody put effort and so much force into making this story.
No, that's cool.
And I'm like, and I know that only a certain sect of people are going to go with you.
Yeah.
On that journey. Yeah. And I like that. I like when somebody's like, I know that this is not for everyone, but I'm going to put all my effort into making it a reality.
It's funny because with God and Time of Year, I actually wrote that like with an audience in mind. Like I actually wrote
really?
That, I'm going to make a palatable movie and like people will like it. And then I was like, made it and realized like, oh, it's 4.2 on IMDb. People don't like it. And so then I was like, with Scissor Tempest, I was just like, fuck you. I'm going to do whatever I want. So
I can't wait to watch it. I honestly can't. But I also want to say, like, I don't think God is that. It's not like I cannot. It's not hard. It's not hard to understand. Maybe that's me. I understand it.
No, that's good.
I think it's got a very, you have a baseline through line of what's happening, and then it's just the branching off of her mind.
I think it's fairly linear. That's why after doing God and Time Air, realizing, oh, this is actually fairly linear, I really tried to experiment with Sister Tempest, and then even more maybe with Blood of the Dinosaurs. So it's just me trying to experiment with the form of a story.
Right.
And how I can disassemble it so much, but still people understand it. Like Hausu is one of my favorite films.
The best, right?
Right. And the thing that's great about that is it's total nonsense, but you can still follow a little bitty tiny thread.
It's got a plot that everything hangs on, but it's not. The plot is like, it doesn't matter.
Right. And so in the end you can say, oh yeah, it's about these girls that go to the house and the house eats them. So you still at least have a story.
Right. So I saw like a 35 millimeter print of that like a year, like 2018 maybe.
That's amazing.
Yeah, in Baltimore, so good. I don't know if the audience was as with it as I would have liked.
I watched it on the big screen around the same time, but I don't think it was a 35 millimeter copy, but it's just digital production, but still beautiful, big screen. And we ended up it was a midnight film, but there was all sorts of technical delays. So it didn't actually start till like 2 a.m. And people were so punchy. It was great. People were just like screaming and laughing and hollering. It was a wild experience.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah. So good.
Have you ever been to like one of those revivals where you go to see an old movie you love and the crowd is just not on board?
Yeah. I was really pissed off. I went and saw Suspiria.
Oh,
I love Suspiria.
Same.
And there was like a big swath of the audience that just laughed the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Just laughing at it. I mean, there's laughable moments
Yeah, Suspiria has some funny stuff in it.
Very much. There's laughable moments, but there was just laughter and like it was a big comedy. And the movie is funny. It's old. Yes, it's dated, but it's fucking insane. Like there should be some reverence for the fucking violent insanity that happens in that film, you know.
And you don't want to be like, you don't want to be the old man, get off my lawn.
Yeah, totally.
About that. I saw Alien, a revival screening of Alien, and the laughter levels on shots of the effects and stuff. I was like, if everyone, what do you guys want? I don't.
I don't understand.
You're like people are so far removed. I'm like, you probably also hate Transformers, which is fine. Good. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
But I'm like, those effects look great. These effects don't look like that. But what do you like? Do you like anything? I don't.
Well, that's a big problem with like low budget cinema nowadays. Is if you do anything that is not like top notch Marvel. Like everything looks just like a spray painted, wonderful, perfect thing. Then like they hate it, and it's just like fuck you, man. Like that's the shit I like. I like buildings made out of cardboard, and I like suits where you can see the zippers. I love that shit.
Same,
So I'm trying to lean into that as much as I can.
I created a term for some of the stuff I've done, which I call a JPEG realism, which where everything kind of looks like you're just keyframing a JPEG.
Yeah, nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's usually what I aim for, because I'm like, there's no way I can accomplish photorealism in any of this. So I just go the opposite way and make it look as fake as possible.
You gotta lean into the style.
Right. Like, this is really happening, but it looks completely fake.
Yeah. I love that shit.
Yeah, like, just because, I mean, without any money.
No, what's like those old, what is it? I can't remember. I'm gonna people are gonna hate me if I say this wrong, but
no one's gonna hate you.
There's some country in Africa that's making a bunch of like action films.
Oh yeah, we're literally showing one at the beginning of next month in Baltimore. Nice. A film group I have, Who Killed Captain Alex.
Yes,
Hollywood.
Yes, and I love the bad effects are what make it just so amazing.
So good. It's like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when the helicopter crashes into a building, and it's just obviously like a picture of a helicopter that's been in Photoshop has just been like made a wavy little like a smudge effect.
Yes,
so good.
I love it.
So good.
So like my idea, what I'm trying to do with my newer films and going forward, is to use those kind of styles, but all the different kinds of styles. So like you might have a scene where you have like the cutout, helicopter, but then another scene might be miniatures instead of like, green screens and JPEGs. And then another scene might be CGI, but we'll make it look like old bad 80s CGI. So you're always changing up the styles. You're changing up the ways scenes are filmed and all those sorts of things, like constantly changing. So I'm kind of fascinated with that.
It also helps, like, you don't know what's real because there's no like uniform style of what's real.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like Tron where, okay, when you're in Tron, it's obvious that you're in Tron.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the real world looks like the real world. But with like with the stuff I've seen of yours, I have no idea what's real. I kind of have an idea, like I could guess.
Yeah.
But I love that. I don't know. And you don't know if an effect is meant to be for the audience or for the characters.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like what are the characters seeing when they look at that obviously like pixel art moving across the screen or anything?
Yeah, we really leaned into that more with Sister Tempest. And if you watch it a few times, you'll be able to tell what the reality of what actually is real in the story and what all the other scenes have a style. And there's one thin thread of reality, and that reality is like very plainly shot. Everything there's a different kind of quality to those moments.
Yeah. Is that going to be available for
supposedly in a month or two? We're going through Dark Side Releasing, and we're just finalizing all of the files, getting the whole package ready to actually, get it into make Blu-rays and DVDs. So, that's what we're in the middle of the process right now. So,
and God Inside My Ear is available. I know it's available on Vudu because that's where I own it.
Yeah, it's also, I think now you can watch it for free on Tubi TV and on Crackle, and you can rent it on Amazon and Vudu and iTunes and YouTube.
Nice.
So
okay.
Places.
Tubi's only 480p, right?
I don't know.
Okay, somebody told me that. I didn't know. I watched it on Vudu, but it looks great, by the way.
Yeah, if you want to watch it like a VCR, then watch it on Tubi.
Yeah, I like the VCR version of everything.
Yeah.
So is there anything else? So your Kickstarter's going up. This should be up right when your Kickstarter's up. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, it'll be up from June 22nd to July 23rd, I think. So like basically 31 days or something like that.
Okay.
And that you can, if you go to wheelofheaven.com, like that'll direct you to the Kickstarter, or if you just go to Kickstarter and type in Wheel of Heaven, search for that.
Right.
You can do it that way too. So
and then they can find you can find God Inside My Ear.
God Inside My Ear, yeah, you can search for it on just Google search like God Inside My Ear. It'll pop up all the different links. Sister Tempest, you can go to sistertempest.blogspot.com. Yes, I still use Blogspot. And you can go there. And once it is available, to watch for the public, that link will be up on sistertempest.blogspot.com. And then you can just check out, like, if you just want to watch trailers of mine and watch like my director reel, you can go to joebadon.com, JOEBADON.
I'll put links to that all on this. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I can honestly say I am super excited to watch Sister Tempest.
Hell yeah.
I'm blaming myself. I probably should have asked.
Oh no. I'll send you a review screener.
Oh, sure. I'm super excited. And I just want to thank you for like coming on. Like, I know you say that, we're all on the same level here, but I look up to you.
Oh,
God Inside My Ear is one of the better indie movies that I've seen in a while. So,
thank you.
Yeah. And if I hate Sister Tempest, I won't tell you.
Please, don't.
Just let it go. Yeah.
I love criticism, honestly. Like, if like somebody doesn't like something, I like to hear why they don't like it, because sometimes they're right. So, and then I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Also being hated means somebody cares.
Totally. If you can get a visceral response.
Yeah.
That's why I like those 10-star reviews. I like those 1-star reviews. But like a 5-star, 6-star review, I don't even give a shit.
You can't commit to one or the other.
Yeah. Like, I need you to love me or hate me,
The best review I ever got in my life for anything was a guy told me that after a screening of my short film, like 12 years ago, it started the argument between him and his wife that led to their divorce.
Oh,
which I was sad about, but I was like, these two humans were so passionate about it. It actually brought up all their other issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Kind of so I'm kind of a fan of bad reviews myself.
Hats off to you. That's good shit.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
my favorite. I'll give you my favorite.
Yeah, please. Review. I was gonna say, what is your favorite bad review?
There's so many bad reviews. Let's see.
I was looking at Letterboxd.
There's some really good bad reviews, but my favorite review of all time, I think, is this guy Jacob Self. He reviews Sister Tempest, and he says, "I don't know if I was particularly horny watching this film, but I had a consistent chubby." So amazing. If I can give some dude a chubby,
that's pretty great with your art.
Great.
You gave him like it's not like you were trying to do it.
No, not at all.
At all. Like your mind did it.
Yes. My mind gave this dude a chubby.
Your creativity turned somebody on.
That's right.
I like that he doesn't say why either.
No, it's not. It's not an explicit film at all in any way. So I just, my brain.
It could also be like a visceral reaction to like the anxiety of watching it.
Yeah. There's all the schoolgirl uniforms as well.
Oh, I don't know if there's a lot of. I didn't know that. So, but like got inside my ear. There's parts where it's just like if you're really focused in, your heart starts pumping.
Totally. And then the blood might rush to other places.
Right. Yeah. It didn't happen for me, so I can't give you that review. And I'm not going to try to make that happen.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Not on the video call.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If it happens, you'll never know about it. I'll do it alone, late at night. So, but Joe, I want to just thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and just chatting.
This was a lot of fun.
This was really fun, man. And let me say, if you ever need to like plug something, you want to talk any subject you ever want to talk about, all you got to do is message me.
Well, once Sister Tempest actually is like out, then like maybe we could talk again. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, man.
You can actually watch the film.
I've actually seen Sister Tempest, and
that would be cool.
And if I hate it, I'll just lie. No, I'm kidding. I won't. I know I'm not going to hate it. So, but anything you ever want to plug, you just let me know. And if you ever need any help with anything, you let me know.
Yes,
I might bother you with some links, and you can tell me how much you don't like my stuff.
I would love. Please do. I love collaborating, so I would love that.
I'm just happy to talk to you. It's an honor for me. So I'm trying not to gush here, so I'm sorry if I'm a little nervous.
All right.
Yeah, I've been nervous this whole interview. And I've had some interesting guests on this podcast that I wasn't nervous about, but I'm nervous talking to you, which is odd. Oh, because I had like Michael Winslow on this podcast, like Police Academy's Michael Winslow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the guy from Eve 6, if you know what that is.
No, what's Eve 6?
A 90s band. He's a lead singer of that. Yeah, but
nice. They like Maroon 5 at all? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't. To be honest, I don't actually know.
I hate Maroon 5, so I don't know.
Oh, I don't even know what is their song. What's their famous song?
I have no idea. I just know my mom. So.
When it comes to music, I know Ray Lynch and like 80s. I know like 80s pop and Ray Lynch. I'm the worst. And film composers. That's it. Like I know John Williams.
Yeah. Totally.
I couldn't tell you anything about Maroon 5.
Music sucks. It's overrated.
Music sucks. The whole thing, the whole enterprise of music is.
I don't even know why humans do it.
Please put that on a poster. Music sucks. It's overrated, Joe. on a film poster too. Like, what the hell? What is this guy's problem? But yeah. Anyway, to wrap it up, thank you again, Joe. And if you're welcome back anytime, man.
Hell yeah! Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
I'll see you later.
See ya.
You just made it to the end of Shrimp Night, a casual chat show available only on the Thunder Grunt Podcast.